All right, I want to talk about why I feel you don't need to live in LA to become successful. And this is going to be a very controversial topic. Uh, this is towards the end of my trip out here, and what better place to talk about not needing to be successful in LA by being in LA, right? So that's what I'm going to talk about today, and talk about my journey as a photographer. People ask me, man, how come you haven't moved to LA yet? How come you haven't moved to LA yet? And that's what we're going to talk about today. I've been doing photography for about 8 years, 7 full years. This is year 8 actually, right? And even before we get into that, let's talk about the things I love about LA first. It's not that many, but it's a few things I do love, right? So I definitely love the weather. This weather is absolutely amazing. The temperature right now is like 55. The sun's out. It's relatively quiet. I'm in Malibu right now. It's absolutely stunning. So the weather's a plus. And then I think the next thing would be relationships. The relationships you can cultivate out here, being a good person, doing the right thing, can really elevate your career, anybody's career, really, just based off of like who you meet. Really, because in life, it's not about what you know, it's who you know, and relationships change everything. Relationships will change your situation. So there's just more influx of important people here, and that is the other thing that I love about LA. But I think it stops there. It's just the weather and the connections, and that's big though. That's big enough for a lot of people to make that switch, right? So let's talk about me and my journey. This is the start of year 8. The first few years were very difficult. Just like any business in the beginning, it's difficult. You have to figure things out, right? I shot a lot of different things. I'm real big into fitness, so I started off in the fitness industry, and I would film fitness clients. Then I did headshots, did lifestyle, and then I got into swimwear. And because I'm in Miami, it worked out perfectly, because it's like, all right, cool. Well, I'm in Miami. If someone travels, they're gonna come to Miami, so it works out, right? So after shooting swimwear, I was like, you know what? Let's do an analysis of what has been facilitating my lifestyle. And the whole time, it was swimwear. My biggest jobs were swimwear. And so it was scary at first, because I'm like, man, if I niche down, I feel like I'm losing. But in reality, you're gaining, because now you're a specialist at what you do. So then I started doing swimwear, and I started to figure things out. I would come out here a little bit, but then I started to figure things out. And another thing I also did was, during the struggle, and there's different ways to get yourself out of a struggle as a creative. You can create more, which that works as well too. But for me personally, I'm such a businessman. I would create things. I would create products. I would create merchandise. I would help my community. And so that was helping me get out of certain situations as well too. So with all that, with all the things that I've created, whether it's merchandise, whether it's education, digital products, I started to get myself out of this hole, and I started to not need to be in LA. So then I started making more money, started getting better relationships, and it seemed less and less enticing to me. The things I don't like about LA is the opportunists. I feel like every big city, there's going to be people that are opportunists. But everybody wants to know your social status, and you can't get in certain places if you don't have a social status. And social status is your currency, but here it's to the extreme max. Everyone just wanting you, or to juice you, or try to figure out what they can get from you. That's what this city is, honestly. Most people have roommates, and there's some people that don't, but this is a city where you move here when you're trying to figure it out. And, I'm at an age in life where it's like, I'm not, I believe adversity is good and it's healthy for those that know how to channel it, because that's how you get to the next level. But for me, where I'm at, I'm like, I'm not going to create my adversity. If it happens, I'll adjust, right? So I got myself out of the hole. I just started offering more value to my marketplace. I think as a creative, or as any person, really, you should be creating as much value as possible. That will definitely help get you out of the hole. But, being in LA, thinking you have to be in LA to make money can sometimes hinder you. Because I've had people that come here and it's like, yeah, bro, I've been in LA 4 years. And so what's happened? You thought just being here was going to make it happen, when at the end of the day, you actually have to put in the work. That's what it's all about. No one's going to save you. Now, some people get saved, and there's always going to be a rare case of a hybrid story or a unicorn story where the person moved to LA, they was here for 3 months, they met the right person at a restaurant, and their life was never the same. And the problem with that is that we're looking at other people's success stories, and some of them were a long journey and some of them were short, and we're expecting ours to be like that, and that's not the reality. The reality is you're going to have to put in the work, you're going to have to make the sacrifices and do the things that it takes, because quite frankly, you can become successful in any city. It doesn't matter where you're at. It does not have to be LA, right? So what's my advice for somebody that's thinking about moving here? Well, number one, I would definitely say know exactly what you want to do. If you come here lost, then you're going to be wasting a lot of time. If you're coming here lost and just, all right, well, I'm going to just go out every night and I'm going to just go to these parties and I'm just network, you're not going to be able to offer any value because you're lost, right? And so make sure you know what you want. That way you can live in your purpose. You can be intentional. That's very important. Definitely network. And patience, I would say the next thing too, because I think being here, more particular than any other place in the world, people are a little bit more impatient, because it's like, all right, I'm gonna move to LA. This is gonna happen. I'm gonna shoot this person, and it does not work like that, right? So patience is all across the board for every genre, every creative field, and just in life, right? And so I want to talk about that. As my career expands, I don't know. I just think when you start elevating and start not being as, when your mind isn't in a scarcity mindset, you just want to have options, right? So, and that's where I feel like I'm at right now, where I have options and I'm not pigeonholed. There's no gatekeepers. I create my destiny. It's my fault all the time. You know what I mean? So that's it, man. That's the reason why I haven't moved out here. I haven't felt the need to move out here. When I needed help, I just studied more in the business side. And that's another thing where it's like, you're going to have to learn the business side at some point, because if you're only a creative, you're going to have to be able to, you got to be a businessman. It's the only way you're going to make money. So, I think that's pretty much it, man. I really want to just talk about why you don't have to move out here to be successful. You really don't. If you do want to move out here, you can. I know I'm getting a lot of hate. It's like, man, LA is where it's at, man. You crazy? Like, oh, it's all the people. Da, da, da. Like, yeah, man. But how hard are you really working, right? So it just boils down to like, if you got it, then move. But if not, it's gonna eat you up and spit you out. So just want to jump on here real quick, man. Just a little rant real quick while I'm in LA, right? So, yeah, man, that's pretty much it, man. Let me know what you guys think. And until next time, peace.